What is happening on the interwebs, guys and gals? This is your maestro of mediocrity, vonToddenstein, with a Dead by Daylight video for beginners. I've noticed a lot of beginner tip videos for DBD address the same basic concepts such as working generators and looping the killer, but they don't address the very basic concepts such as on-screen information and learning killer perks. So I wanted to offer a series of videos that present a post-game analysis, looking back at what happened from the perspective of a player with only 100 hours in this complex game. Hopefully we will learn together so you can spend more time progressing through the game and having fun. In this series, we will look at the scoreboard first so we can get a peek at what happened to better understand as we watch the action. Since we will focus on display information, I'll touch on my perks and the killer perks that are relevant, but we won't go too deeply into all of the perk explanations. I am using 4 Tier 3 perks on Claudette. I'm rank 13. The first perk is Spine Chill, which increases action speeds by 6%. But it increases skill check probability while reducing skill zone sizes. Second is Self-Care, which allows me to perform healing without a medkit, although at a 50% reduction, but it increases medkit efficiency by 20%. The third is Sprint Burst, which allows for 150% sprint speed for 3 seconds, but it causes the exhausted status and has a cooldown of 40 seconds. The last is Empathy, which allows me to see dying and injured allies' auras up to 128 meters. I also have a Tarnished Coin, but that just increases the number of chests in the map by 1. Meanwhile, the killer is at rank 20, and he's only using a Tier 1 Hex Haunted Ground, which is his default. That spawns 2 totems as traps, and if either one is cleansed, it causes the exposed status for all survivors for 40 seconds, which is basically a one-hit down. His power is called Yamaoka's Haunting. This is called a phasing, which is like a teleport to another location. During the phasing time, the survivors cannot see him. They just hear a vacuum sound and cannot pinpoint its direction. When he comes out of the phasing, if they are close, they will again hear the heartbeat. While the killer is in the phasing status, he cannot see survivors, but he can see scratch marks and he can hear sounds. He will stop at various points in the game, noting different types of on-screen information to help us understand what is happening. We'll freeze at those spots and speed up in between. Notice as I approached Nia at the generator, on the left side I received 200 points for Reunited, given for a first-time encounter with the other survivors. These are blood points given in the altruism category. At this point, I begin working the generator with Nia, and the repair bar is red, showing a reduction in repair speed, but that's for me. For the both of us, it's still faster. The killer closes in, Nia runs away, and the repair bar switches to yellow, showing a buff to repair speed because of my Spine Chill. The killer was chasing Nia, but I panicked and hit my sprint button, which caused Sprint Burst to kick in. The circles on the right, which are called status effects, linked to the wiki below, show Haste, which lasts for 3 seconds due to my Sprint Burst, and also Exhausted, which resets, but only if I'm not sprinting. Here we can see Nia, who is looping the killer, is indicated in yellow by my Empathy because she's injured, which works up to 128 meters. This is also indicated by the red in the character indicator in the lower left. Got back to finishing this generator solo. We see the bar begins gray, but changes to yellow when Spine Chill is active. Along with the yellow repair bar, we see the circle indicators above the bar, which are called proficiency indicators. Again, wiki link below. These help indicate what is happening. The leftmost circle is a repair progression, which shows faster, and the red circles show skill check difficulty, yellow smaller zone, and a skill check probability, more frequent. I finally reunite with Nia. She is limping because she is still injured, though this normally doesn't affect running speed. In line of sight, I can see her as opposed to seeing her yellow aura. As I heal her, you can see even the healing action receives a buff when Spine Chill is active. So I look and notice the killer coming into the frame. As I approach this generator, I hear Nia crying as she is downed. We see her yellow aura turn to red when she is downed. The character indicator in the lower left confirms it is the same person. As I continue to work, we see the killer pick her up and we lose sight because empathy does not work when the survivor and killer are in direct contact. As I complete the last generator, the exit locations are shown in white. There should be 2 usually, and not always in the same location. The indicator will be lit for 5 seconds. We begin to hear the vacuum sound of the spirits phasing. We don't hear a heartbeat, and we don't know where she came from or where she is going. But in this frame, you can see her husk down the street. The vacuum sound is replaced by the heartbeat, indicating she has spawned close by. You can see she arrives next to the exit door switch. David decides to run away as she is camping the exit gate. In the distance, you can see the other Nia is injured, confirmed by the player indicator in the lower left. Nia tries to approach the exit gate, but the spirit is camping. So I decided to go to the other gate. In this frame, all 5 characters can be seen. In-game collapse is the term used for the timer once the doors are opened or the hatch has been closed by the killer, an event to force action. You can see the 2 injured survivors in the distance. They succeed at opening their door while I am opening mine. We are at the point where we should decide to escape or help others. At this point, you can see one Nia has already escaped on the other side. Dwight is trying to approach the gate, but Spirit is close. I could have taken the hit here to protect him, and I didn't see that, but we all got out safely. If you have any corrections or suggestions, let me know in the comments below. Links to the reference materials are located there. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like and consider subscribing for future videos in this series.